Kurt Hamilton. How the hell are you?
Great. How about you guys?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for asking. Kurt, we're excited to have you on the show. We talked to your buddy Joey Edelman here recently, and he had predicted that it would be you, him, and another one of your friends up in the top three. So we're interested to get to the end of the show and talk a little bit more about to hear your predictions for top three overall. But first, why don't you give our listeners a rundown? How did you get your start in diesel performance?
So just growing up around our town, my neighbor had a giant 7.3 on stacks, and we used to go, lift kit stacks. When it's 2003, that stuff was cool as a 13-year-old kid. So we would head out, and tug of war was big. It just two trucks on a concrete pad with a steel beam between them, and they were trying to jerk each other around. So that was being around a diesel truck. Fast forward about years, I bought the truck I'm currently at, ATC, 2006 Duramax. Injector one of it, and it all snowballed from there. Started with some oversized injectors, and here we are.
Give us a rundown of where we're at. Tell us about your truck.
So right now I have a somewhat bottom end and have 100 over extra G injectors, 14 mil extra G pump, 12 mil extra G pump. I have a Stealth 67 in the Valley, compounded with a Smetting S488 atmospheric.
That's an awesome setup, man. That's a lot of horsepower.
Yeah.
What is your background on the side of like racing, sled pulling, dyno? Where do you have the most experience?
I would say a mix between sled pulling and drag racing.
Okay, that's good. That's most of the competition, right?
Yeah.
You got to do 2 pulls, I believe, still. You got to drag race in the brackets, and then you got to go out and do the dirt drags as well.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the dirt drags.
Why is that? What is it that's so appealing about diesel trucks in the dirt?
I don't know, man. It evens the playing field. If you can put the power to the ground, you stand a chance against anybody.
That's an interesting way to look at it. I mean, I love it because I feel like you can work the truck as hard as you possibly can, and you're not going at real high speeds. You're not running down the end of the track. Like we don't have those, 80 mile an hour blowouts, right? And things like that. We're keeping it a little bit more reasonable on the vehicles.
Absolutely.
I love that.
You're just breaking the tires.
Go ahead.
Just breaking the tires loose and hoping it grabs and you go.
Now, this competition generally requires, we were looking at last year's numbers. Believe the winner was at just over 2,200 horsepower. The second place was at like 1,900. Third place was around 1,900 horsepower. What are you estimating for power going into this?
I want to touch 4 digits. That's
okay.
My goal is just over 1,000.
Now breaking into just over 1,000, that puts you pretty far down in the pack. Where do you hope to be really strong in the competition?
Dirt drags and sled pulling should be good for me. And now that they're doing the bracket racing, it kind of evens the playing field a little bit, where hopefully you can get 3 or 4 of the events and pray for a solid finish on the dyno, somewhere middle of the pack, to hopefully prop you into the top 5.
I like that. Now, is this a truck that you've built yourself? Is this something you did in the garage? Is this something that you had a lot of help from a shop? How did it come together?
I bought the built bottom end, and then from there on up, it was all built in a garage.
Okay.
It was actually over at Joey's in his garage.
Joey Adelman, who we've previously talked to on the show, guys. So he also was 5th place last year. Quite a bit of experience around this competition. You have some experience being at the show as well, I understand.
Yeah. So 2019 was the first year Joey Adelman entered. So of course, had to go out there, help them out, change a lot of wheels and tires for all the different events. And I took my truck out there, and they had a spectator drag racing and dyno days. So got to throw it on the dyno with an older air setup that I had, and drag raced a couple times, and it kind of lit the fire to try to start building something to compete with these guys.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Who do you think is going to end up in the top 3 overall?
Well, I'd like to say Joey, Scott Henshaw, and myself, but being a realist, I think Booby was the guy that won last year. I mean, he's still defending champ, so you got to throw him up there.
Sure.
And Joey should place in the top 3. I like that. And I'm sure that Ben Francis out of Marietta, he put on a strong competition last year. He should be up near the top.
That's awesome. I think that's a good prediction, man. That's looking at the field and hey, like we had said before, we'd love to see you 3 amigos up there on the top 3 at the finish. But those are some good picks, man. You're right. There's a lot of serious competitors that are going to be out there, and everybody wants to be on that podium at the end, right? Like everybody wants to be in those top 3.
For sure. I just hope to see some GM up there, not all these 3rd-gen Dodges.
You and me both. I dig it, man. All right. Well, hey, who do you want to give a shout out to?
I'm going to give a shout out to Scott Henshaw. He did the majority of the work getting the truck together. My wife, Kate Hamilton, not checking my bank account. Dustin Van Dyne, Dalton Carpenter, of course, Joey Adelman. We all kind of put our heads together and come up with some ideas for the truck, and they're always with me when I want to go beat on it somewhere. So they're a good pit crew to have on my side.
You said it, man. Well, hey, good luck for you, Kurt. We're excited to see you compete this year.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
No problem.